My name is Johnnie Moore, and I am a Christian Zionist. I want to thank you for having me here tonight. I know inviting a reverend for Shabbat is a little unorthodox, pun intended. I promise, though, I brought my own wine. Actually, I'm a Baptist, so I brought grape juice. But I'm also not going to try to turn your water into anything tonight. I also promise, as an evangelical Christian, to not try to convert anyone to anything unless you're a Democrat, and then all bets are off. Actually, if anything, I'm here to thank you as the Jewish community for converting us. Because every blessing in my Christian life is the byproduct of your Jewish religion, your culture, your history, and your values. It's a real honor tonight to share this evening with you, to break bread on Shabbat with friends who've become like family, at a moment when both our communities face a choice between courage and comfort, between standing firm and standing down. Tonight, we read Lech Lecha, go forth. Two words that changed history. God tells Abraham, leave everything you know and everyone you trust, every comfort you possess. Go to a land that I will show you. And Abraham just went. No GPS, no guarantee, no backup plan, just faith in God. The audacity to believe that God's promises are strong enough to get him where he needed to go. As Rabbi Sachs reminds us, Abraham is influence without power. He ruled no empire, he commanded no great army, he performed no miracles, he proclaimed no prophecy, and yet he changed the world because he was prepared to be different. And I stand before you tonight as a Christian reading a Jewish text, and I'm struck by how precisely these ancient words speak to our present moment. Lech Lecha isn't just Abraham's story, it's our story. It's the story of every Jew who refused to cower to anti-Semitism. The story of every Zionist who said next year in Jerusalem when it seemed impossible. The story of evangelicals like myself, of Christian Zionists who decided that silence in the face of evil is never an option. See, going forth means leaving comfort, the comfort of what everyone thinks, to embrace the conviction of what God actually says. It means to stand with Israel even if the UN vote is 150-1. It means calling evil by its name when the world calls it context. It means saying never again and actually meaning it when it costs you something. You know, I'm proud to be an evangelical for many reasons, but especially for this. When the world told us to quiet down about Israel, we went forth and we shouted louder. When October 7th happened and the equivocators began their gymnastics, they're still doing it, by the way, we went forth immediately, unequivocally, and unapologetically. And thank God we have a president of the United States who understands Lech Lecha. When everyone said the embassy couldn't be moved to Jerusalem, President Trump said, "Watch me." When the foreign policy establishment said peace was impossible, he delivered the Abraham Accords. When Iran menaced the entire region and the world, he acted with clarity and with strength. When Iran's nuclear facilities stood there, they ended up obliterated, a failed terrorist regime humiliated. That's what Lech Lecha looks like when the world's most powerful nation chooses moral courage over conventional wisdom. Our president, he doesn't fret about the cocktail party circuit where I live in Washington, D.C. He just gets the job done every single time. But you know, God doesn't just tell us to go, he also promises to bless us along the way. Genesis 12:3, which you read this weekend, is a verse that every evangelical knows by heart. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. This is not poetry, it's theology. We don't stand with Israel because it's convenient. Often it isn't. We don't stand with Israel because it's easy. Rarely is it. We stand out of conviction because your book is our book. Your heroes are our heroes, and your values are our values. The equation is really quite simple. When America blesses Israel and remains the best home for the Jews outside of Israel itself, then America will be blessed. The U.S.-Israel partnership, it's not only about America's interests, it's the secret to our success. So what does going forth mean for us tonight? First, it means when anti-Semitism surges on campuses, we go forth together, defending Jewish students, demanding accountability, refusing to let hatred infect a generation. We stop taking universities at their word. We stop giving. We demand accountability and change. It also means that when the UN becomes a weapon against Israel, that we go forth together. We expose the hypocrisy. We defund the dysfunction. Because for too long, American taxpayers has subsidized a system that has become the world's engine for white-collar anti-Semitism under the profane banner of humanitarianism. Enough is enough. And I have to say, this is personal to me. Because this summer, the UN was letting food rot in Gaza. So we went forth through the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. We delivered nearly 200 million meals to the people of Gaza. Hamas didn't steal one truck. And when those UN trucks stalled, and those bureaucrats found microphones faster than solutions, revealing their secret hatred, not only for all the Jews in the world, but also America. We just kept feeding people every single day. We didn't ask permission, we didn't wait for approval, and we certainly didn't care one bit what the Secretary General of the United Nations thought. Because Hamas was stealing food from children, so we fed them. And I have to tell you, our work was not without a cost. We lost 12 brave local Gazan aid workers. We lost countless bits and pieces of reputations garnered over a lifetime because of profane lies. We had several Americans that were injured by Hamas grenades. My own family faced threats. Some continue to this day. But when terrorists and their enablers oppose you, it means you're doing the right thing. Because GHF not only saved lives, it helped create the conditions for the hostages to come home and for victory over terror to draw closer. And also, I should say that when universities buckle, some institutions stand firm. I'm honored to be a part of Pepperdine University's unwavering stand against anti-Semitism. This semester, we launched a new master's degree in Middle East Policy Studies in Washington, D.C., with not a dime of foreign funding and full scholarships to attract the best students. And by the way, in our Christian community, where anti-Semitism wasn't tolerated in the first place. I'm proud to be here tonight and to tell you that our Christian university, the highest ranked Protestant school in America, that the majority of our first cohort of Middle East study students are Jewish students, because that's what friendship looks like in practice. Going forth is the 750,000 evangelical Christians that give every single year to help the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews help the people of Israel all over the world. You know, Abraham didn't know where he was going, but he knew who was sending him. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we know both. We know where we're going, toward an America that leads from strength, not apology. An America where our flag means something, and our word counts for something, and our values aren't for sale. An America where Israel can rest in its security, where Jewish students can wear their kippah without fear, where Jerusalem remains undivided and recognized as Israel's eternal capital. And we also know who sends us. It's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The God who keeps his promises. The God who chose a people and gave them a land and told the rest of us that how we treat them will determine how we're treated and how we're remembered. Senator Scott knows this. Senator Graham knows this. And President Trump has proven again and again that he knows it too, better than anyone. That's why America is back. That's why Israel's enemies are on their heels. That's why our friends sleep better at night and our enemies fear to close their eyes. So, on this Shabbat, as you read about Abraham's courage, remember, his courage is our inheritance. We didn't choose to be born in a time when going forth would be required as it is today, but here we are. The call has already come. The only question is whether we'll answer. But I'm here to tell you tonight that evangelicals have answered the call. We've already gone forth. We will not turn back. 700 million of us worldwide. So let's go forth together. Because here's what I can promise you. You will never be alone with us around. Never afraid, never apologetic. We will be proud Christians and proud Jews, staring down the darkness, daring evil to try us, as we light candles from here to Tel Aviv and from Washington to Jerusalem, with the light that has guided the world since creation. Together, unstoppable, faithful to God and to each other. So may God bless America. May God bless Israel. May God bless this partnership with no force on earth will break. Shabbat Shalom.